Tonight, tragedy on the water.
One of the paramedics, they know who this young boy is, and again, it affects everyone.
A father and son canoeing on Lake Erie, failing to return home. Plus, no last call. London police investigating a weekend shooting at an after-hours establishment. And welcoming the world.
We're marketing London as a base camp for those attending games in Toronto.
The Forest Cities pitch, courting soccer tourism dollars.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Provincial police have identified two bodies recovered from Lake Erie yesterday as a father and his young son. They were reportedly out canoeing but never came back to shore. With the latest on the OPP investigation, here's Jerry Dewan.
Emergency responders were called to the waters just west of Long Point around 4 Monday afternoon for a report of overdue boaters.
While emergency crews responded to the area, both individuals were located by a passing boater approximately 2 nautical miles from shore. The Canadian Coast Guard attended and recovered both individuals from the water.
A 53-year-old man and his 7-year-old son were pronounced dead a short time later.
Both were wearing life jackets at the time of the incident, and police are continuing to search for the boat they departed shore in.
Robert Kuznets owns Inner Bay Marina and Trailer Park near where the incident happened. He declined to go on camera out of respect for the family, but he warns that being in the water at this time of year brings a specific set of concerns.
Kuznets says his greatest concern for people on the lake at this time of year is the water temperature.
I did speak to the Canadian Coast Guard, and the water is anywhere between 7 to 10 degrees yesterday. So again, it really comes down to the fact that if you are going to venture out in the water, make sure that you do have warm clothing. Make sure you have a plan in place. More importantly, though, make sure you let somebody know when you're coming back.
The other concern is that emergency services geared towards boaters don't go into full effect until the May long weekend. Sanchuk says in smaller communities, everyone feels the loss, especially when a child is involved.
I was speaking to some of the first responders, one of the paramedics last night and early this morning, and they know who this young boy is. And again, it affects everyone.
OPP are now searching for the canoe the victims were in and are asking boaters and residents to call if they spot the vessel. Near Long Point, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
London police are expressing frustration tonight over after-hours clubs operating without oversight and often circumventing liquor laws. As Brian Bicknell reports, a shooting happened at one of those establishments last weekend, sending one man to hospital with serious injuries.
This was the scene Sunday morning as police cordoned off a Richmond Row plaza. The center of their investigation, this after-hours club where a man had been shot multiple times. Barry Huggins runs Pita Pit just a couple doors down in the same plaza.
When I came in Sunday morning, obviously everything was taped off, and it's not a good look for customers coming into the store.
Police say shortly after 6 Sunday morning, an adult male showed up in hospital with gunshot wounds. Police were called and officers determined an altercation involving multiple people took place inside an after-hours club. A male victim was assaulted, and police say when staff attempted to intervene, multiple gunshots were fired. The victim suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. So what exactly is an after-hours club? In a statement, police said they operate outside regulated hours and oversight, often to circumvent or contravene liquor licensing, municipal bylaws, or other legislation, increasing the risk of violence and unsafe conditions for patrons and the surrounding community.
Requires operating terms and agreements such as how long alcohol can be served for, and the parameters under which a license can be obtained. It's meant to ensure public safety, safe consumption, and safety to the community and the patrons of those establishments.
Detective Inspector Travis says there have been police interactions at this location in the past. One area business owner who didn't want his identity revealed told us that there is often trouble, especially on weekends, with violence spilling out onto the street from area clubs.
The shooting around this area is pretty common, We have experienced so many complaints from our customer, from our different police. They come inside the restaurant, they're asking for the footages and everything all the time, and that's very common.
No arrests have been made and no weapon recovered. Anyone with information about the after-hours club shooting is asked to contact police.
Information in the form of dash cam footage, video surveillance footage, businesses or other establishments, if they can support or help the investigation, to please contact us.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Jury members at the coroner's inquest looking into the London police shooting death of a Sarnia man have returned with 10 recommendations meant to prevent future similar incidents. 29-year-old Justin Barassa was walking along Richmond Row in downtown London in October 2021 when officers mistook him for a suspect involved in a break-and-enter. Barassa was fatally shot during an altercation with the officers. They were trying to handcuff him, but he ended up placing one of them in a chokehold. The jury's recommendations include developing police scenario-specific guidelines for de-escalation and conflict prevention, maintaining situational decision-making in use-of-force encounters, and reviewing and enhancing training programs, including safe handcuffing techniques. The officers involved were cleared by the province's Special Investigations Unit of any wrongdoing. The provincial government has announced a date for an inquest looking into the circumstances surrounding a man's death while he was transferred from the Elgin Middlesex Detention Centre. 29-year-old Drew Pearson had been charged with arson back in December 2018, connected to a house fire on St. Andrew Street. Officials say the inquest will take place May 25th, and it's expected to hear from 10 witnesses over 8 days. Provincial law mandates an inquest when someone dies in police custody. Several Midwestern Ontario communities are reporting substantial expenditures from this winter because of the heavy snow. Millions more was spent compared to what was budgeted, relying on winter maintenance reserves. Scott Miller reports.
It was a winter to remember across Midwestern Ontario, with tons of road closures, school bus cancellations, and, of course, snowstorms.
This past winter, we found that it was almost relentless, one storm after another. And obviously a huge shout out to our staff who worked extensively, long shifts, and, had very little time off.
All that extra time took a toll on Huron County's winter maintenance budget that saw $5.5 million spent on labor and materials to keep the roads clear, much higher than the $4.1 budgeted.
It reflects the crazy amount of snow we got this year.
Khalid says Huron County exceeded their budgets in everything from county winter maintenance, materials like salt and sand, and external winter maintenance contracts. In neighboring Bruce County, nearly $4.1 million was spent to move 460 centimeters of snow off of Bruce County's roads, higher than budgeted, but much more than the nearly $3 million spent in the winter of 2024, when the 5-year average of about 350 centimeters of snow fell.
So we're 110 centimeters more snow than average last year. So it's no great surprise that we would have spent a little bit more than we expected.
Grey County was nearly $2 million over its winter maintenance budget, and Owen Sound nearly $1 million over its snow clearing budget. So where does that money come from? Winter maintenance reserves, which every county and municipality has. Money not spent during mild winters is set aside to help cover for winters like this past one.
Fingers crossed. Let's hope that next year is easier than the last couple of years. You're right. It's been a tough couple of winters. Everybody knows it. And but we'll be ready one way or the other. We'll be certainly building our budgets based on what we've experienced in the last few years. Those averages that I gave you will be going up because we've had more snowfall in the last couple of years.
Snowplow drivers will be hoping for a milder winter as well. In Huron County, it took 40% more labor hours to keep the roads clear than the prior winter, which not only upped the cost, but the time spent to do the job.
This past winter has definitely taken a toll on both the budget and how much effort we had to put in.
In Midwestern Ontario, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Good evening. Not quite winter-like, but definitely some frosty conditions across the region this morning, with temperatures hovering near zero. Temperatures this afternoon climbing between 10 and 15 degrees. That's the high. In London, over the next couple of hours, the temperatures will start to dip just a bit, but will stay above 10 degrees as we move through the early evening. We have some rain that's arriving to Midwestern Ontario and expecting some steady showers tonight. In London, we have the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms out ahead of a warm front front. Now we're going to get into the warm sector overnight. Temperatures are not going to drop off, but we will see them dipping down, but definitely not as cold as it's been over the past couple of nights. So by midnight, 8 o'clock, and the probability of showers ramps up. We have some thunderstorms in the forecast overnight. The potential for 10 to 15 millimeters of rainfall. Coming up, I'll take you through the forecast. I have some great news to share in terms of temperatures for the holiday weekend. I'll have that forecast for you coming up in just a few minutes. Carlyle, back to you.
Thank you, Julie. After committing to more education and enforcement, London City councillors have extended permission for e-scooters on roads and pathways.
It seems somewhat of a toy, but we're talking about a motorized vehicle. We're talking about real-life injuries, real-life chances of, God forbid, death.
We do not respond to roadway safety concerns by banning cars or asking the province to remove them. We, in fact, improve on infrastructure, education, and enforcement, and I think we need the same balanced approach.
London will continue participating in a provincial pilot project allowing e-scooters on pathways, bike lanes, and roads under 50 kilometers an hour. New enforcement could see parents of riders under 16 or under 18 without a helmet receive a $100 fine. Ontario's big city mayors and the Ontario Municipalities Association will also be asked to lobby the provincial government for more e-scooter regulations.
I don't think is the appropriate way of going about this. I think it's on the province to actually come forward with rules and regs to actually give people something to follow and not just strip it away from them.
Stratford City councillors are pushing back on the provincial government's strong mayor legislation, filing a legal challenge. With more on their concerns and what they hope this court battle accomplishes, here's Colton Weens.
I will call the question. All in favor? Opposed to any? That's unanimous and carried.
It was May 27th of last year when Stratford City Council unanimously signaled that it wanted to file a charter challenge against Ontario's strong mayor law.
I do see risks in having specifically the CAO role and the CLT roles being politically influenced by having one person responsible for implementing or removing.
And now, almost a year later, the city has filed a legal challenge against the provincial legislation, which has been imposed on more than 200 municipalities.
Our council, right from the start, has had large concerns about this, and we've been working quietly for the last year, including meetings with representatives from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing. And we've unfortunately had no real progress in getting any changes implemented. And those centered around, one of our proposals was to make these powers voluntary. So if a council was struggling, not able to advance items forward, they could request that strong mayor powers be put in place and help try and solve the logjam that way.
In an email to CTV News, the spokesperson for the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing says mayors understand their communities best, and our government's strong mayor framework gave municipalities the tools they need to move faster on critical infrastructure such as housing and economic development. Adding strong mayor powers remain limited to advancing prescribed provincial priorities set out in regulation. The province would not comment further on Stratford's challenge as it is before the courts.
This was imposed on Stratford with no consultation, no forewarning, and it was just, here you go, deal with it.
Hunter says the current law eliminates majority rule from the council chamber and raises constitutional questions about effective representation on council.
So by removing that from our council chamber, that is in fact undemocratic in our opinion.
The city's legal challenge seeks to have the courts declare the law as having no force and effect. Hunter says Stratford's current mayor has delegated as much authority as he's able, and their concern isn't about him, but more about the future.
Certain municipalities have had challenges. I'm aware of one municipality where the mayor vetoed council's decision, and that led to less housing than would have been the case had council had the majority ruled.
Colton Weens, CTV News.
Ontario's Auditor General released 4 reports this morning covering a wide range of topics. The documents outline issues with truck licensing as well as government use of artificial intelligence. With more, here's Siobhan Morris.
They're powerful machines rumbling down Ontario's roads and highways. But the Auditor General's raising new questions about the training some truck drivers are getting. Her office hired undercover students to sign up, mostly at career colleges. In 2 cases,
students were not taught key elements such as left turns at major intersections, reverse parking, and emergency stopping.
Students were told to sign off on training they'd never done. The Premier expects training schools to maintain standards.
And if that's not happening, we get wind of it, we will shut them down.
But the auditor found a quarter of schools hosting basic training programs had never been inspected at all. Others were still handing out certificates even after being barred from doing so.
We have been overhauling this over the past 2 years and continue to do whatever we can and to ensure that we have the highest standards.
Fraud in trucker licensing and testing have been well documented for years.
The government's not doing what they need to do to protect you, then you should be mad.
The auditor's spotlighting a gap in the money going to special education. Yes, it's gone up with inflation, but she notes schools are also seeing more children with more complex needs.
The funding is not keeping up with the growth, and that the school boards themselves are spending upwards of $200 million more on special ed than what they're receiving.
The Minister of Education feels the focus shouldn't be on a dollar figure, but
outcome. On the surface, would more EAs make sense? Perhaps, but only if you look at the actual mix. What does that student require?
Calandra admits the ministry hasn't done a good job of tracking outcomes or setting standards for when a child with special needs is excluded from a classroom.
This report very clearly tells him what we have been saying, what parents have been saying, what educators have been saying. They are failing our children, and they are putting them in harm's way.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
We are 1 month away from Canada's opening match at the FIFA World Cup, and locally, tourism officials are trying to capitalize on the expected surge in international visitors. And with more on their campaign, here's Rita Ismail.
The countdown to the FIFA World Cup is officially on, and in London, tourism officials are hoping the global event becomes a major opportunity for the local economy.
We recently just launched our Match Made in London campaign, where we're marketing London as a base camp for those attending games in Toronto.
Even though London is not a host city, officials say its location, just 2 hours from Toronto, makes it an attractive option for soccer fans looking for more affordable accommodations and experiences outside of the busy core. New research from Destination Ontario suggests the strategy could pay off. A recent study found 9 in 10 travelers planning a FIFA World Cup trip to Ontario say they're likely to explore destinations beyond the host city during their visit. The same research found visitors are also looking for experiences beyond soccer, including food, nightlife, sightseeing, and cultural attractions.
We have partnerships with Via Rail to take advantage of that travel opportunities, discounted rates at hotels and different options to, if you've never been to Canada, to explore some of our city and learn about the country a little bit. But also there's some events to attend. We're hosting the Canada Celebrates Tour on Saturday, July 4th, so you can really still catch that FIFA soccer fever while you're here in London, as well as all the other viewing parties and events that'll pop up around the city.
Officials say the goal is not only to boost tourism spending during the World Cup, but to leave international visitors with a lasting impression of the forest city. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
A new plaque was unveiled this week recognizing the home of cricket in London, a sport with nearly 2 centuries of history in this city. As Brent Lale reports, its popularity may now be growing faster than ever.
For 170 years, the sport of cricket has been played in the forest city.
When First International played in Canada in 1844, Southern Ontario were part of it. Then Londoners came together, established a club in 1856.
To recognize the history of the sport in London, the Historic Site Committee of the London Public Library Board unveiled its 78th plaque.
It really needs to be a person, place, group event that is significant to the history of London, and we try very hard to make sure that the new plaques as we develop them are inclusive in the stories that we are telling. It's really a great way to show the history of London from this early sport that was brought here by settlers, and it's been kept up and the tradition has been maintained for centuries now.
Debbie Chappell comes from a history of cricketers.
From my father talking and telling, he came here, he met a few guys, they realized there was no cricket club in London, and they started the cricket club. They built a little shack down on Fanshawe Park, and then they got larger.
The sport has seen a resurgence, and in 2022, a third cricket grounds was added to join North London and Silverwoods.
Obviously, we need more grounds because 10 years ago, we had only one pitch. Now we have 3 pitches, but also the number of players in London, they're playing more than 2,000 players playing leather ball and softball. So we need more resources from the City of London.
The Historic Sites Committee has another item on their agenda. Next month, a new sign will be erected to mark the original Wonderland Gardens. Brent Lale, CTV News.
When we come back, Canadian competition to host a financial headquarters. Cities making their pitch to host the Global Defence Bank. Plus, saying no to the census. Why some Canadians are refusing participation in protest. Welcome back. Several Canadian cities are expected to launch bids for a new multinational financial institution dedicated to military investments. Judy Trin has more on the contenders and how this defense bank will work.
Global finance and advanced innovation.
Toronto's bid to host the new Defence, Security and Resilience Bank was launched with a glitzy video and a full-court press.
We have Team Ontario, united to support Toronto.
The new defense bank could involve 40 countries. It could hold an estimated $135 billion US in assets and employ 3,500 people. Other than Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and Ottawa are competing for the headquarters. Analysts say the winning city needs to have more than just financial expertise.
Good cultural sensibility. I think it needs to be able to communicate with different players in different countries.
Toronto is one of the most diverse cities on earth. People from every corner of the world come here.
The majority of the bank's member nations will be in Europe. Connections, Montreal's mayor says the city has.
The economics and the diplomacy. So we're the only city that can give both. The economic diplomacy that this bank needs.
But politics are at play. Depending on which party wins the Quebec election in the fall, there could be another referendum on Quebec's separation.
We're not going to engage in campaigns of fear, for starters. We have the strengths and the maturity to receive international organizations, bottom line.
The goal of the Defense Bank is to provide lower interest loans to smaller companies so they can develop technology and expand faster. Ottawa has dozens of innovative companies, but the capital's airport doesn't have many international flights. Not a problem with Vancouver, which could be a prime location to attract Asian nations to join.
We're the gateway to the Pacific. We actually are in the perfect time zone to bridge those gaps.
I think the headline for everybody that they need to know is that Canada will lead the world in defense finance.
The federal government has yet to lay out its criteria, nor has it set a deadline. But regardless of what city is selected, Canada is the big winner. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
If you haven't filled out your census form by now, reminders and warnings could soon be on the way, or even a $500 fine. However, that seems to be a risk some Canadians are taking on willingly, refusing to complete the form in protest. With more on that, here's Heather Wright.
During the last census in 2021, roughly 98% of Canadians filled out the survey, a vital tool, according to Statistics Canada, that helps governments make informed decisions.
I do feel betrayed by the government.
But some are choosing not to fill out this year's census as a way to protest the Carney government in the series of floor crossings that helped the Liberals secure a majority government last month.
We voted for a minority government. We didn't vote for a majority government. Why can't we have a say?
While Canadians have been asked to fill out the census by today, it's not technically a deadline. If people don't fill it out, they could receive follow-up phone calls or in-person visits until it is completed, which is required by law. Those who refuse could receive a fine of up to $500.
It's a key part of our democracy, but it's also fundamental for the basic services the government provides. You're going to want to know where the population lives if you're going to place a school, a hospital, a fire station, a police station. If you're planning transit routes, you need to know where people live and where they work.
Jeff Balby is the Assistant Chief Statistician for Statistics Canada and says all data collected is de-identified and securely kept within the organization.
We are absolutely required under law to keep all of the data that we collect here at StatCan within the walls of Statistics Canada so we can guarantee the privacy and confidentiality.
Statistics Canada says it is still too early to know how many people have refused the census, but they say according to preliminary numbers, the response rate this year is comparable to in the past. Heather Wright, CTV News, Brampton, Ontario.
With Julie on the desk now, we did get some lovely sunshine today, a little bit milder as well compared to yesterday, but it does sound like if you had the chance to get outside, you should have done it earlier today because there's rain as we head into the overnight.
Yes, we have showers that have moved into parts of Midwestern Ontario. We do have some rain on the way, and we could see upwards of 15 millimeters of rain, Carlyle, overnight. So still 3 degrees shy of what we typically see this time of year. We made it to 15 degrees this afternoon after a very chilly start this morning, but we do have a low pressure system on the move. The main parent low is to the north, and look at the snowfall north of the Great Lakes, just east of Superior. On the flip side of that, we are on the milder side of this frontal boundary that's coming in, so a warm front will approach overnight, and with that warm front, we have rain in the forecast. So starting to see those showers push through Grey and Bruce County. Huron and Perth, you'll see some showers through the late evening, and in London as well, with the potential for thunderstorms. So we will see a line of storms develop in advance of the cold front itself. So the low pressure area will drive to the northeast and pull this weather system through. That will keep us cooler than normal over the next couple of days before a major pattern shift arrives just in time for the long weekend. So overnight, last night we were at 0. Tonight in London, 8 degrees, so milder through the overnight. If you're near the lake shore of Huron, 10, and near Lake Erie, 11. So the warmth that has been in place in Western Canada will slowly now shift eastward. So we have been under an upper trough, and in Western Canada, an upper ridge. So what that means is our jet stream has been riding high and then dropping down over the Great Lakes, allowing cool temperatures in. Now, as we head toward the long weekend, that shifts, and we get under that warmer flow of air. So that's good news in terms of the long weekend. Everyone always says it's the unofficial kickoff to the summer season, so it will actually feel summer-like this long weekend. Still lots of questions, though, in my mind about the long weekend forecast, and I'll talk to you about that in just a second. I wanted to show you that front that comes through overnight. So this shows 2 a.m., so you can see anytime between midnight and 2 a.m. we could see a strong line of thunderstorms develop, and that's why we have the potential for about 15 millimeters of rainfall. That rain exits eastward as we head into your Wednesday morning, and then overcast, probability of showers tomorrow, just a 40% chance. If we get anything at all, it'll just be a passing shower. Not expecting any heavy rainfall for your Wednesday afternoon. And you can see even heading into Wednesday evening, still a fairly solid deck of cloud. Some rainfall towards Grey County. Other than that, the day will be just overcast and cool. Your forecast for the holiday weekend, so there's 2 different model scenarios that are playing out. So one has us extremely warm with a mix of sun and cloud, and the other one has some showers and cooler. So in terms of a warm up, that is coming. I can guarantee that we'll be into the upper teens, low 20s, but we could see those temperatures climb even higher. So in the coming days, we will see that forecast shift just a bit. So let's take a look at your Wednesday weather. 13 degrees in the morning. By the afternoon, just 14, so still well below normal. But notice the wind shifts tomorrow to the northwest, so that keeps us cool as we head into your Thursday, overcast and 14. Here's your warmer air, 20 degrees on Friday, under a mix of sun and cloud, and then a mix Saturday into Sunday. We could squeak out some rainfall Saturday morning, so first thing in the morning, about a 40% chance of showers. By the afternoon, that drops off once again. Sunday looks good. Some questions about holiday Monday as well, with the risk of spotty showers, but forecast is showing some warm temperatures coming coming in. Again, I guarantee this forecast for the weekend will be changing. What won't change is the warmer air that's moving in. It might not get quite this warm, but I am expecting temperatures to climb significantly by Friday, Saturday into Sunday. So if you've been waiting and holding on to hope that it was going to warm up, this long weekend will deliver some milder temperatures. That upper air pattern, Carlyle, is changing, and that means we will see the temperatures climb. It'll just be how that weekend forecast plays out. What we're looking at, though, for tonight, showers and then thunderstorms overnight. So we could get woken up in the night by some thunderstorms moving through, with the potential for some heavy pockets of rain across southern Ontario.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. Still ahead, money management in the face of inflation and soaring gas prices, how Canadians are adapting to make ends meet. And later in the newscast, it's Behind the Likes with Lauren Stallone. Lauren, what are we talking about this week?
Well, without giving too much away, usually we eat something. Today we're going to be smelling something.
All right, that's coming up. Stay with us.
We just launched this amazing thing where you could be on stage opening up at Rock the Park this summer.
It's Pure Country 93's Rising Star, and we're looking for the best local talent. You can apply right now at purecountry93.ca.
Ontario's biggest country music festival is back for 2026. Enter online at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of VIP tickets plus camping to Boots and Hearts at Burles Creek Event Grounds from August 7th to the 9th.
A recent survey is outlining just how much financial strain many Canadians are dealing with, stretching the money they have and leaning on credit to make ends meet. With more, here's Leah LaRocque.
Dennis Granier can't believe how expensive life is these days.
You try to find deals wherever you can because it's crazy out there.
The price of food and gas, the biggest strain recently on people's pocketbooks.
Food, electricity, everything, gas, for instance, right now, like people are, they are suffering.
A recent survey by Harris and Partners, a bankruptcy insolvency trustee, backing what many are feeling. More than 90% of Canadians changed how they managed their money in the past 6 months due to shifting economic conditions.
We have two kids at home, and so even double income was just surviving.
Nearly half of respondents say they're cutting back on overall spending, and 1 in 5 delaying major purchases they had planned just to get by.
I'd like to go for a weekend fishing trip and stuff like that, but that's put on the back burner, maybe not even happen this year.
The survey found that not only are many consumers delaying big purchases, but they are also struggling to cover everyday essentials and are dipping into savings and relying more on credit.
They're delaying things like having a barbecue with their family because, they can only afford rice or soup or whatever it is. Delaying maybe going to a doctor's appointment that's a little out of the way because they can't afford the gas.
Harris and Partners saying the summer is also when people can typically start saving. But this year is different.
The result that we got that was the most shocking to me is that 91% of the people said that the financial change to them was out of their control.
Everyone looking for ways to save, including the Breslavs, who did the math and the planning ahead, hoping to stay ahead.
We're from Shawville, so we come to the city once a week and do Costco.
Leah LaRocque, CTV News.
Rising unemployment numbers point to another tough year for young people applying for summer jobs.
When you have a bit higher unemployment overall, then a lot of organizations and businesses have the luxury of hiring people that might have more experience, and that kind of puts out the young people. And there's that old adage, how do you get experience if you won't give me experience? So we are seeing a bit of that. And some of that slowdown is because of the tariff. Some businesses are cautious and so on. But as far as, generational thing, certainly like any generation, they've got to learn how to do things a little differently than maybe they're used to. Everything is digital these days.
Youth unemployment rose to 14.3% in April, more than double the overall unemployment rate. Officials with Youth Unemployment Services recommend young people focus on seasonal jobs like landscaping, summer camps, hospitality, or retail. India's Prime Minister is asking his citizens to reduce fuel consumption and work from home.
Petrol, diesel ka.
The Indian leader says the country's foreign exchange is at risk, which is how the country buys fuel and imported goods. The Prime Minister is expected to visit the Middle East later this week to discuss energy cooperation. Canada's main stock index reversed course today as gains in energy stocks offset losses in tech. The TSX climbed 152 points. In New York, the Dow added 56. The Nasdaq fell 186. The Canadian dollar lost almost a quarter cent. On commodity markets, gold dropped $42 an ounce. Oil gained more than $4 a barrel.
If they don't slow down, serious stuff can happen.
Coming up, taking safety measures into their own hands, a student-crafted message to speeding drivers. Welcome back. An independent civilian oversight agency will investigate the conduct of the Toronto Police Drug Squad. The Law Enforcement Complaints Agency looks into public complaints about police. Agency officials say Toronto's police chief notified their director of potential misconduct involving drug squad members. They say they can't identify any of the officers publicly, nor can they comment on specific allegations. They say the investigation should be complete, though, within 4 months. Provincial police say 7 people from the Toronto area face charges for taking bribes during driving tests. They say an investigation was launched by the Serious Fraud Office in September 2024, looking into irregularities in a G-Class license exam process in Ontario. Investigators say the bribes were meant to assure specific applicants received favorable treatment. The suspects range in age from 43 to 65 years old, and their charges include money laundering. New safety signs line city streets near a Kitchener elementary school. As Krista Simpson reports, the students helped design the signs themselves, hoping their message gets through to drivers.
Slow down. Kids cross here. Messages to drivers from Danielle, Aluna, Lottie and Emily, students at Janet Metcalf Public School in Kitchener.
It's important because if they don't slow down, serious stuff can happen.
I understand that you were moved to create some art after a bit of an incident of road violence in your school zone.
The artwork was drawn when the students were kindergartners, a response to a close call and concerns about safety for the school community. Now, the students are in grades 2 and 3, and their work is being used to spread the message about keeping school zones safe.
I made the kids cross here. I made the 30-kilometer zone.
They really thought about what the problem was and what needed to be solved, and they came forward for us in ways that adults have not in a lot of times.
The signs come from Student Transportation Services of Waterloo Region through a grant from the Ministry of Transportation. Unveiled in time for Canada Road Safety Week, the signs will be displayed in front of 38 public and Catholic elementary schools in Waterloo Region.
It makes me feel grateful and proud because our signs are at different schools.
The signs will be up over the next few weeks and will be brought out again during the next school year at times of heightened traffic risk. A student-led campaign reminding drivers of what's at stake when they're going through school zones. Krista Simpson, CTV News, Kitchener.
Tomorrow on CTV News, bringing local history to life, the new Forest City Facts Initiative, connecting London's past to the present, celebrating a bicentennial. Tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
This is Winston. Winston is a 10-month-old shepherd mix from Animalure, and he is the best Velcro dog ever. Winston and I actually go way back. We met last summer at a farm where he and all of his litter mates were up for adoption, and sadly he was returned. He's currently looking for his forever home. Yes, you are. He's healthy, he's happy, he loves his people. He just wants someone to snuggle up with and just spend his entire life side by side. Truly, he's just so sweet. He's good with other dogs. Yes, you are. He's curious about cats. He's very curious about my face right now, too. And good with older kids, just because he is very high energy, and he just loves a good smooch, don't you? Do you love a good smooch, sir? He really is the perfect boy. Winston, we're going to find you your forever home, right, bud? Yeah, let's get him home. I'm going to do it.
If you're interested in adopting, visit animalure.ca for more information.
Thank you to Maureen Coleman for sending this photograph in. This was taken in London. We have showers and cool conditions over the next couple of days, but a major warm-up as we head into the holiday weekend.
President Donald Trump says the ceasefire with Iran is on life support.
After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it.
Trump says he rejected Iran's counter-proposal to end the war. The Iranians were reportedly demanding sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, compensation for war damages, as well as an end to fighting on all fronts, including Lebanon. Trump has accused Iran of going back on an agreement to hand over enriched uranium, while the Iranians call their proposal responsible and generous. Meanwhile, Trump will join leaders from more than a dozen companies in Beijing Thursday for a summit with the Chinese president. Officials from Meta, Tesla, and the investment firm BlackRock are all expected to attend. American government authorities say they want to stabilize and grow their trade relationships with China in several areas, including agriculture, aerospace, and technology. Recent relations have been strained over U.S. tariffs, technology restrictions, and competition over critical minerals. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer told his cabinet today he will not resign despite growing calls from within his own party.
Is this the changing premise, Minister?
Cabinet ministers left this morning's meeting without making any comment. Starmer's Labour Party were crushed in local elections last week, prompting the resignation calls. On top of that, he's been blamed for the UK's struggling economy. Starmer was elected in 2024, and the next national election is still 3 years away. Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen and his Artemis II crewmates were welcomed to Capitol Hill today.
I can speak on behalf of Canadians to say this is something that we as Canadians admire in you in America, and that you set these extraordinary goals and you leave space for others like Canada to come along and contribute in a meaningful way. And by doing those things, you garner immense respect around the world, but you lift up others to come along with you. Congratulations.
Each of the astronauts received a copy of a resolution passed unanimously by the U.S. Senate, which thanks the crew for their leadership. The astronauts conducted the first crewed lunar flyby in 50 years last month, venturing farther into space than anyone before them. And on the other side of the break, it's Behind the Lights. Julie's back with us. Lauren, we are going to take another trip down memory lane with this segment.
That's right. We're going to be smelling some things right here. We got this beautiful little guest here with us that we're going to get to smell later on.
All right, stay with us.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Before we go, it is Behind the Lights with Lauren Stallone, Julie Aitchison with us as well. And as we mentioned before the break there, Lauren, some nostalgia in this segment as well, tied to a specific sense.
Exactly, smell. So I want to start by asking both of you, is there a certain smell that kind of takes you back? For me, it's new bags or backpacks always remind me of the first day of school, my dad taking me and my sister. So is there anything that kind of does that for either one of you?
I grew up in the era of Pokemon cards, and I can remember I grew up in a small town, Northern Ontario. There was a hobby shop, the one place where you could go and get packs. There's a specific smell of that shop I can remember. Opening the packs, also triggering a very specific memory there for me, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of memories I think are tied to like heightened emotion. So I have a lot of smell memories from high school, not ones I'm going to share with all of our viewers, but it's just events. And I think more recently for me would be with my kids, like a baby shampoo or something like that would take me right back to when I was bathing them, and definitely a emotional response with that smell, tying it to that.
Exactly, and that's what people on social media are saying, that your sense of smell is actually the best sense for that emotional time machine and to take you back to a time in your life that you missed or you want to think about. So people have actually been creating or buying a new perfume to wear on their wedding day. So every time they smell it after that, they always think of what's supposed to be one of the best days of your lives. And they have found a place here in London called Behar Perfumes, where you can pick up a new perfume or you can custom make one that is exactly catered towards what you like, what you don't like, and it's really a unique experience. So I spoke with the owner to get a sense of how he's feeling now that they're going viral and what this means to his business.
It's pretty good that people are recognizing our store and they are recommending this store to others, that the place is really good and they must try the perfumes. A lot of our customers, they say that they have watched our video on Instagram and TikTok, and that's how they came to know about us. So when they are making their own, some people doesn't like woody scents, some people doesn't like sweet scents. So for them, we craft the perfume each note by note. So that's how we build the perfume basically from scratch.
And you've got one of them here.
That's right. So I actually went down to the shop in downtown London, and I went through the whole experience with the owner, and he asked you what you like, what you don't like. I don't want to give too much away, but I did tell him that I like floral scents. And from there, I'll give it to both of you. But before we do that, you can actually name the scent. I couldn't come up with anything. He thought CTV News, and you know what? It works. So now I get to smell like CTV News every day. So I want you both to smell it, but he basically walks you through different things, and you choose which one you like better, and then from that, he comes up with something unique to you. So
I don't know.
I mean, if you want to put it on, go for it. Go for it. It might work for you.
All right, do a little rub.
Okay.
Or you can smell on mine. Or...
Well, it smells different too on everyone, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't have the words to describe
this. So this was what you chose as what you like.
I said something flowery. He can also kind of go off some of your favorite brands and things like that, things that you've worn in the past. So going through that,
I think I could see you wearing this.
I was going to say, does it smell like me?
If you're watching on your phone, you can just rub the screen.
Yeah, it'll work.
App. You should be able to get a whiff of it yourself.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so it's a really fun experience, and it's unique, right? And you can go back and you can do whatever works for you, and everyone comes out walking with something different.
Yeah, something special and unique to what you want.
And we will now remember this segment forever.
Yeah, wow, there's a lot of sense going on now. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Lauren and Julie. That's it for us, for all of us at CTV News London. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.